Simon, you said after the game against the Giants, you're frustrated, I guess, with sort of the wasted opportunities going forward. Is that something you sort of worked on this week? And you don't think you kicked 10 goals for the last 3 games either. So I guess that's an area of focus heading into this weekend.
Yeah, look, it is, John. I think, kicking 55 points a game is not going to win too many games of footy. And we know the way we defend, we don't have to kick really big scores, but we need to score more than 55. So, look, we've looked at, how we're going to, fix some of those things. We certainly need to win more clearance and stoppage. We need to move the ball a little bit more effectively, especially inside 50. And we certainly need to look at our method and personnel. So, Ben Brown will come into the team. He's ready to go. He's put a big block of form together, and we're looking forward to getting him in.
What prompted you to recall him at this point? He obviously played 3 games earlier in the season. What's he sort of done now? What do you sort of hope for him?
Oh, look, he's put together a really good block of form. There's no question about that. Last week he was on really limited minutes. We knew we had a 5-day break. We wanted to make sure he was cherry ripe, and we thought this game would be a prime opportunity. And I think when you reflect on last week's game, kicking 55 points just isn't enough. We need to keep defending the way we're doing, but we need to actually kick a bit more of a winning score. So, Ben provides us a great option. He's an experienced player that's a proven goal kicker, so he'll come in.
Well, that release, like Max Gawn and Luke Jackson as well, in the sense that, you guys have gone to Max inside 50 a lot, but having that tall target in Ben Brown just will release them a bit more.
We'll continue to share the ruck load. Those two have worked really well in tandem, and we certainly think Max still provides us a target forward of the ball. So there'll be times when Luke's down there, there'll be times when Max is down there, and we'll certainly share that load.
It's been a while, Simon. I think it was round 8 when would have been this forward line last. Have you taken any lessons from those couple of games when it was primarily McDonald and Brown in the forward line?
Oh, look, I think, we've won games of footy with, the mix that we're going in with this weekend. We've won with Wiedemann in the team. We've won with playing 2 talls. So we're not certainly wedded to any sort of formula. What we are wedded to is playing a little bit better, consistently hitting the scoreboard. And there's no question, Ben Brown provides us with an opportunity to do that. He's a proven goal kicker. He's in really good form. He's built his body up to a position where he feels really confident in it, and I think that's half the battle, is to get him into a position where he feels confident that he can play at the level and perform, and we're really confident that since round out that he's coming back a better player.
You talked about his body a bit there. Can you talk us through some of the challenges that he has faced just in terms of building up his match fitness while dealing with what's been a long-term injury?
Yeah, look, he obviously had his knee surgery last year and also through pre-season, and he'd missed a lot of footy, and when he came into the team the first time, he hadn't played a lot of footy. He played 3 or 4 in the VFL, but he missed a really good chunk of training. So what he's been able to do in the last 6 or 7 weeks is get some continuity in his body, get some continuity in his training and his playing. And speaking to Ben, he's really confident in his body and being prepared to play AFL level and perform. So when a player's coming to you saying that, that gives you a lot of belief as a coach that he's in a great frame of mind and wants to impact the team, and in his own words, he's ready to go.
And it's been almost 2 months since he's been at the senior level. What was his reaction when you told him the news that he was in the side this week?
Look, for the last couple of weeks, he's been really confident where he sits and that he's ready to go, but he just can't wait. He's worked really hard to build himself up to be in a position to play some really confident, strong AFL footy. He's rapt to be in the team, and he's rapt to be a part of the group moving forward.
Simon, you were part of the succession plan into your coaching career, and obviously what's going on at Hawthorn. Can you? There are some doubters as to how it works, if it's going to work, can it work? Can you cast your mind back to the guidance you got from Paul and that transition for yourself?
Yeah, look, I can only speak from my personal experience, going through a succession plan. And I was really lucky and fortunate to have Paul as a senior coach. And it was at a time when the club, was probably at its bottom. you know, and there wasn't a lot of expectation on the club, and you know, it enabled us as a group of people, you know, Paul, myself, and a whole range of different people to come up with a plan about how we're going to build our footy club back, and it gave me some time to understand the footy club, understand our playing group, and understand the best way to drive this footy club moving forward. And I was really fortunate with the relationship that I had, the guidance that he gave in those few years, and you know, the transition was really smooth. So from my perspective, it was certainly something that worked really well for our footy club, but I can't really talk about other footy clubs and the dynamics and relationships and how those things work. That's purely up to those clubs and those individuals.
Were there a time where, you know, the lines of communication were murky? Or, I mean, like, were you and Paul on a good wavelength in who took charge in certain areas and who was speaking to the group at certain times and all that?
I was pretty clear that Paul was the senior coach. You know, that was a clear communication right from the start. You know, there's at times, you know, you look at your own coaching philosophy and there's things that you would do differently and things that you would like to implement, you know, once you become the senior coach. But at that time, Paul was the senior coach. I knew my role within that. You know, it gave me a great opportunity, as I said, to build the relationships with the players, understand the club, understand the staff, and work out the best way forward. And you know, that's what I was enabled to do. And as I said, Paul and I had a really open communication about the dynamics and how it would work, and it was really strong.
Do you feel you're a better coach now because of that?
Oh, I've said this a lot. I don't think you're ever ready to be a senior coach. And even going through a succession plan, although it gave you a great grounding for the job, you're never ready for the scrutiny and the intensity once you sit in the chair. And, you know, I think that's certainly those few years certainly helped shape that. You know, I was still a very young assistant coach at that point. And I feel like every year as a senior coach, you get better and better through experience and going through different situations in your coaching career. So, you know, without question, it helped because I was a young assistant coach, but I don't think it fully prepares you for what the job really takes.
How's Cosy Pickett working his way through things at the moment, Simon? Sort of, his stats aren't as great as what they were earlier in the season. How do you see things with him at the moment?
Yeah, look, obviously, you know, Cosy would love to be playing some better offensive footy and hitting the scoreboard. There's no question about that. You know, he's still working incredibly hard. We're working with Cosy. It's probably the first time his form's dropped a little bit in terms of his output, but he's still putting a lot of defensive pressure on. So, you know, I'm still really confident that he's not too far away from getting back to his best, and he plays a role which is really challenging. You know, as a small forward, you know, it is hard at the moment. You know, we're only kicking 55 points a game, so he's getting limited opportunities in some of the areas that we'd like him to get. So hopefully we can get some better connection forward to centre. You'll see him hit the scoreboard a bit more.
Last couple of drives.
Your travel plans, Simon, they're not too hectic, and you're going to have a run tonight. Might help.
Yeah, look, you know, we're really fortunate we get to travel over to Adelaide the day before and train at Adelaide Oval tonight. So that's going to be great preparation. You know, we know we're playing a quality side against Port Adelaide and who are in good form and on their home deck. So we're looking forward to the challenge and we can't wait.